Odyssey NFL insider Ross Tucker. Insider Calls brought to you by Nationwide. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side. I kind of went Jack Palance there. Welcome back to the show, buddy. How you doing, Ross?
I'm doing well. I like that. I thought that was pretty good, actually. Nick, you've kind of a nice voice.
Yeah, people are saying it. Many people are saying. By the way, Ross, my coworkers swears today he's never seen Goonies, and then he Googled Goonies, only to find out he has seen it, but still can't really define what the movie's about.
How old is your coworker?
He was born in 1998.
Oh, okay. Wow. Gosh, I'm old.
Hi, bad dude.
That's understandable because I'm sure there's movies, from like the 60s that I haven't watched, I don't know. I mean, the movies from the 80s, the movies from way before he was even a thing. So I guess I'm a little bit happy and impressed that he even watched it at all.
We'll take a win here. What do you think about Dillon Gabriel being the new starting quarterback for the Browns?
Wow. They don't call you the master of the segue for nothing,
Yep.
Nick. That was incredible.
They literally don't call me that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all knew it was inevitable. The question was always just one of timing, and certainly we talked about that last week. I don't think going against Brian Flores and the Vikings defense is ideal, but I don't know. I'm not really sure there is an ideal time. I mean, we could talk about, well, then this, but then this on the road at the Steelers, that's probably not ideal. So then maybe at home against Miami would be best. I think one of the biggest reasons why they probably did it now is, what if they put Flacco in or kept Flacco in, and they went over there and beat the Vikings? Then it kind of feels like you got to leave him in there for a couple more weeks. And I think that they had kind of gotten to the point where it's like, okay, we're not going to the playoffs. I think most of the players can probably see that that's unlikely. And, Gabriel might give us a spark. Who knows? And let's get him out there. And I think maybe the idea is, first of all, the more they can see of him, the more exposure, the better. And then also, why not let them take some lumps, learn some lessons before they play the Dolphins at home, so that he's got even a better chance to win that game and win some of these other games that are coming up. So it makes sense to me. I'm sure they didn't have a number in mind before the season, but I think when you asked me, we would talk about somewhere between 3 to 5 games is kind of what we thought.
Ross, in your mind, what does Dillon Gabriel have to do in order for this entire thing to be deemed a success?
What do you mean this entire thing?
Like deciding to bench Joe Flacco for Dillon Gabriel just 5 games into the season.
I don't know. Just show any type of promise. My sense was that you guys are on the air every day. I'm not, but my sense was that most Browns fans were ready for this sooner rather than later. Am I wrong on that?
I think so. That is fair, yeah.
Okay, that was my guess. And so I think that that's what they wanted, and they're getting what they wanted. And I think there's 2 questions. One is like, what does he have to do before they would move on to Shedeur? In terms of to moving on for Gabriel to be a success, I don't know. Give any type of hope, show any type of flashes that he could be the guy. I don't think they need to win a game or win a game of the next couple or whatever, but it's not like the offense was lighting it up with Flacco. I mean, they probably can't be much worse with Gabriel than they were with Flacco.
Ross, are you a Dillon Gabriel believer from back in college, all 72 years of him?
I told you that story, right?
I cannot recall.
2019, midway through the season, I did a game between UCF and East Carolina. and UCF's starting quarterback in 2019 was Dillon Gabriel, and their star receiver was Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis is in his 6th year in the NFL. He's on his 3rd team. He signed a huge contract after becoming a free agent. This is Dillon Gabriel's first start. Like, that is just unbelievable. Good for him, though. I think he made a good chunk of change in college, which I'm happy for. I think he's a good fit for what Stefanski wants. Ball out quick, operated effectively, mobile enough for the bootlegs and stuff. I think he's got a little bit of Tua to his game. I think maybe a little bit of Kirk Cousins to his game. I can see some comps with both those guys. And I think he's a bright kid. He's obviously very, very experienced. And I think that will help him, although I also think he's going to see some things that he hasn't before from Flores. And, I wouldn't be surprised if all of you is a pick 6. I don't know if you can prop bet that or whatever, but he's going to be trying to get the ball out quickly, and the Vikings know that. So they're going to try to jump these quick passes underneath, and I would not be surprised if Isaiah Rodgers or somebody takes one back to the house.
Ross, if things don't go well,
what you just described there, just to be clear.
That would be pretty bad. What do you make of Joe Flacco remaining the backup quarterback and not Shedeur Sanders? Because that's been the buzz here today.
Yeah, well, you know how during during preseason and training camp, there was a lot of nonsense about, the Browns were setting Shedeur up to fail and putting him in a bad spot and all those things. So that was obviously nonsense and nonsensical. Making him the backup this week, or maybe even any week, but certainly this week, now that would be setting him up to fail. Because what people don't understand is all of the reps this week will go to Dillon Gabriel because he's the starter. And he needs them, and they want him to get those looks before the game. So the job of the backup in the NFL, which a lot of people don't understand, is to be able to function competently with no reps during the week, maybe 1 or 2 on Friday. So Flacco obviously just started the last 4 games, so he can do that. If they had Shedeur as the backup and Gabriel gets hurt the 3rd play, it would be so bad that it would be comical. And so I think they're doing the right thing. Do I think at some point they'll probably throw Shedeur out there? Yeah, I do. But it will be at the start of a week where he gets all the reps as the number 1. I don't think it makes sense to have him as the number 2 because then if he got in the game, it would be ugly. I mean, it's probably going to be ugly whenever he gets in anyway. But then it would be potentially comically bad, especially based on everything you see and hear about Shedeur.
Ross, did you see the video of Shedeur earlier today and Berea being asked about Dillon Gabriel named as the starter?
Where he moved his mouth but didn't say anything?
Yeah, that would be the one. I was just wondering if you had an opinion because many people on the internet are big mad or big defensive about this.
Honestly, I'm at the point where I don't even know what to say with some of these guys and some of the things they do. I guess I'm neither. I wouldn't say I'm big mad. I really don't care. And I'm not big defensive either. But that is, you just described anything involving Shedeur Sanders in a nutshell. There is absolutely no middle ground. Anytime you post anything about Shedeur Sanders, I don't know if these are real people or if someone has pre-programmed bots to come out on either side of any Shedeur Sanders issue ever. Nobody ever has a reason to take. It's always he's the best, he should be starting, blah, 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 or he's the worst, he's terrible. It's neither. He's a pretty good quarterback who, obviously was not the prospect that people thought he was. Probably got drafted a little bit lower than he should have. Probably should have been like a second or third round pick. He's a developmental guy. He's got a long way to go, but nobody wants to hear that. But like doing stuff like this, I don't see how that helps him. I don't understand that.
Ross, despite all of this quarterback stuff, it kind of seems like week 5, winnable game for the Browns in London. Minnesota's a little bit beat up. We're not 100% sure if it's going to be Wentz. They're hopeful J.J. McCarthy could practice at some point this week. Despite everything going into this game, this kind of feels like maybe a winnable game for the Browns.
It is a winnable game for the Browns. I mean, because of their defense, I feel like almost every game is a winnable game for the Browns. That's how I've thought about it. And this certainly, with how beat up the Vikings are and how they looked, definitely. I mean, they're not favored, the Browns. They shouldn't be. I don't think they'll win, but they could. I think the Dillon Gabriel aspect of it's fascinating because we really don't. I think I know what to expect, but it's a lot of bootlegs to the left, but I think the Vikings will be ready for that. So you have to expect that the edge guy to that side, anytime Dillon Gabriel boots to the left, is going to go right at him and try to light him up. He's going to get the ball out super quick because they're going to be paranoid about Flores blitz packages, and that's going to work a bunch of times, and I think probably not work a few times. I don't know the numbers this year, guys, but I talked about this with Greg Cosell last year on the Ross Tucker podcast. Flores blitzes 6 or more guys more than any team in the league, and he also drops 8 in coverage and only rushes 3 more than any other team in the league. So most teams rush 4, and if they blitz, they add 1 guy. Flores is either coming with 6 or 7 guys, or he's dropping 8. He's like all or nothing, and I think it throws off quarterbacks a lot because they don't. It looks different depending on which one they're doing, and they change it up. And that's probably especially the case with a rookie quarterback in his first start.
Ross, is the AFC North really as bad as it looks right now?
No, I don't think so. I think the Ravens will be okay as soon as Lamar Jackson gets back to being healthy. Okay is not the same as saying they're going to the Super Bowl or a Super Bowl favorite. My guess is if he's only out a couple weeks, that it ends up being Ravens, Steelers, both somewhere between 9 and 11 wins, battling it out for AFC North supremacy at the end of the year.
Ross, great stuff as always, buddy. We got a playoff game to get to in the very near future here. Otherwise, we'll keep you a little bit longer, but appreciate you and can't wait to talk to you again next week.
Sounds great. No, enjoy the playoff game. Later, dude.
Later, dude. That is Ross Tucker, Odyssey NFL Insider.